That looks a little wet. That side looks even worse. Wait. Is that an intro I hear? If I'm going to race at Rocky Mountain Race Week, I can't be dumping oil on the track. That's a no-no. So let's get these valve cover gaskets changed ASAP. Start by removing the air filter assembly. There is an 8mm clamp on the throttle body and a 10mm bolt on the side of the assembly. Don't forget the wire connector for the airflow sensor. Next, disconnect all the electrical connectors for the throttle body, ignition coils, injectors, the AC compressor, and the oil pressure sensor. I ended up tucking the wiring harness up above the intake manifold. Remove the 7mm bolts that hold the ignition coils in place, then pull the ignition coils out. Now we have a better view of the bolts for the valve cover. There are 11 8mm bolts to loosen. A swivel joint will help get the hard to reach bolts. With all the bolts loose, the valve cover should come off with little effort. A little wiggling may be needed to get it out. Now is a good time to inspect for any signs of excessive wear or damage. Let's get the cover over to the bench to replace all the gaskets. I suspect that these bolt gaskets have failed, causing oil to seep by when warmed up. Oil builds up in the corner and eventually seeps through the gasket. I'll have to keep an eye out for any future problems. The new gasket fits perfectly. It's time to put this cover back on the engine. I'll have to turn off the copyrighted music before I can go any further. That's better. Feed the valve cover back onto the cylinder head. Start the bolts by hand to prevent cross-threading. Yes, I went through and torqued them to 89 inch-pounds. Do you really want to see me do that? No? Me either. Skip! Put everything back in the order removed. Jumping over to the passenger side, the battery and the battery mount will need to be removed before the valve cover can come off. Everything else will be similar to the driver valve cover. Thanks for watching. Feel free to post any questions in the comments below.